Hi, grade sixes. This is Mr. Lapierre here, and we're standing right here in the theater. And, we were hoping to have you here. And unfortunately, because of all this stuff that's going down, we kind of have to do a virtual scenario when it comes to, our grade 6 to grade 7 transition meeting. Now, normally, and I'm just going to do just a quick scan here. We're standing right in the theater. I want you to imagine that you're actually sitting in the seats, you and mom and dad. Now, the interesting thing about that is I may have actually taught many of your parents, or many of the parents. You only have two. And so they would know me as a personality. You may actually even have some siblings that have attended this school. But the first thing I really want you to know is that we're going to take care of you. It's a big transition from grade 6 into grade 7. We've done it, myself and my team, we've done it many, many times, and we're actually very good at doing that. So we hope, and this is our plan, that if we can't do a tour now, an actual tour, we hope to be able to do that actual tour in late August. So we will be in touch with you. Right now, Mrs. Friesen is going to be sending home to you an email with all of our video links. We're going to do two things. Number one is we're going to do the actual presentation we would do if you were physically sitting in those seats. And number two, we're going to do a virtual tour of the school at large so you can get a kind of an eyeball. And I know you get a little bit anxious, you get a little bit nervous, but I'll tell you that this is the truth right here. Once you get here, it'll take you 3 days, maybe 4 days, maybe even 5, and you're going to feel right at home. But the individuals that have the greatest issue in terms of transitioning are your parents. And if you're the first child to come over into grade 6, into grade 7, it'll take them about 3 months to get used to the idea. So you're going to be okay, and we're going to take care of you. Now, let me introduce to you a couple of key individuals, and you can see them standing there in the background, and we've been social distancing. This individual here to my right, would be your left, is Mrs. Yeaman. Mrs. Yeaman, would you like to say a few words?
Hi, grade 6s. We can't wait to have you here in September, and for now, hope you enjoy our tour.
Now, the other associate principal, he's really important when it comes to junior high students, and he's over here to my right as well, and he's waving at you, and that's Mr. Teskey, and he's the expert, the 10-year expert in terms of dealing with, or working with, I should say, grade 7 through to grade 9 students. Mr. Teskey, you got a few words you'd like to say?
Hello, grade 6s, soon to be grade 7s. We're excited to have you here. We're disappointed we can't have you here at this moment. This is by far not as fun or does not have as much impact, but this is the best we can do for the moment, and we hope you can understand. And we're hoping that this is gonna ease some anxieties for you. I have not taught, probably have not taught any of your parents, but maybe some siblings that you have had. We're looking forward to having you, and enjoy this virtual tour.
So you see this big screen behind us, and it plays an important role. That's what you would be seeing in our theater. Mr. Teskey is going to walk you through what's called a screencast, and you'll see his picture in the bottom right-hand corner, and you'll see the screen up there, the slides as we move through the presentation. And then that'll be the first video, and the second video will be the actual tour of the school. So watch this. He's going to even talk to you about options and how you go about choosing your options, and we can do all of that online. So watch this, enjoy, and for sure, we're going to see you face to face in August. Have a good day.
Hello, grade 6s and parents. Mr. Teskey down here in the bottom corner of your screen. Thank you for taking a moment to watch this video. In this video, I'll be showing you the exact slides and videos and providing you with the same information that we give each year in our grade 6 to 7 transition meeting. Now, some of this presentation has already been given to you, so when we get to those slides, we'll be able to just skip on past them. So let's get started. So here at DVSS, we have a tagline, we have a vision statement, and we have a mission statement. Our tagline here, Learning for Life, is a short but powerful statement that embodies what we believe here at DVSS. We chose Learning for Life because it not only expresses our value of providing our students the knowledge and skills that best prepares them for their future, but it also expresses our value on lifelong learning. Regardless of the stage in life or whatever age a person is at, it is so important to have an open mind and continue to learn. There's a famous Socrates quote, "The more I know, the more I realize I know nothing." And what he was saying is that the more we learn, the more we find out that there is so much more we need to learn. We strongly value continued learning here at DVSS, and we want our students to desire to learn throughout their life. Our vision, to engage possibilities and embrace potential, and our mission, inspiring a caring and courageous community of lifelong learners, empowering global citizens for generations. In the videos you have watched to this point, and in this video, you'll notice that we work very hard to provide our students with the many opportunities and experiences that will help them to grow as individuals. We do this through our strategic instruction, authentic engagement, and connecting and contributing activities we have with our kids. Those things make up the powerful learning model of Golden Hills School Division, as shown here. So ultimately, our vision and mission statements guide us in that endeavor. When we're talking to parents of grade 6 students who will be coming to our school in the fall, they'll often say that their child is excited but nervous. You heard Mr. Lapierre say that even parents are nervous about the change. If this is how you're feeling right now, well, you're not alone. Every year at this transition meeting, we like to show a video of other students who are also nervous about the transition into middle school. Middle school is pretty much the same thing as junior high school, only it's commonly meaning a school for grades 6 to 8. So these students in the video will be sharing with you their feelings about a transition very similar to the one that you'll be making soon. We hope you enjoy this video.
When I came into middle school, I had some really good friends in elementary school, but I was super scared I wasn't gonna see them at all, or my locker wasn't gonna open, or even how to, and how am I gonna handle all the teachers.
I was afraid of the middle school drama and all that stuff, but it's really easy to stay out of if you just choose your friends wisely.
You know, not all my friends from elementary school were going to the same middle school as me. That was probably my biggest fear.
My biggest fear was probably the lunch table. I was so scared at lunch because I thought I wouldn't know anybody.
The homework.
Lots of homework and not knowing where to go.
Definitely getting to my classrooms on time because it's a big school.
For me, it was probably figuring out if I could open my locker on the first day of school.
I was definitely first scared of the lockers.
When I came in, lockers are pretty easy.
You definitely get the hang of things after a few days or so.
It just took me a week to kind of catch the hang of it, and I wasn't really scared of it anymore.
It's different in a good way.
Well, for starters, there's 6 classes instead of just 1.
The whole transition of a new school, I never really moved schools, so for me it was just the different teachers, different faces, and just seeing a lot of new people.
You'll have a lot more stuff, which is kind of hard, and walking actually through the hallway.
The biggest difference for me was the size. Hutton, where I went to elementary school, was actually a very, very small school.
In middle school, there's nachos, pizza, and all these different lines. There's the lunch special. so you could like have a different variety of food.
I think the biggest difference is that you have more responsibility. Like your teachers expect more from you and your parents.
The day flies by a lot faster.
First day is like so crazy, but then it just gets easier after you repeat the steps.
My teachers would want me to stay learning, but honestly, just hanging out and coming here and chilling.
Oh, let me think about this. The best part is sports that are involved with middle school, because I remember in elementary school there's like cross country, but that was like once a year, and then there's 4 different sports you can get involved in if you want to.
I'd probably have to say the best part would be the electives. The electives are schoolwork, but it's fun schoolwork. Well, there's more freedom, I would say, in a way, like socially, and you meet so many more friends.
That's what I really like. You're very independent, but at the same time you still have teachers helping you and teaching you.
I like all of it, I guess. Just the new friends that you can make, new teachers, new learning experiences. It's really fun.
I'd tell my 6th grade self 2 things. 1, to get better hair gel because it wasn't sticking up very well. And then 2 is mainly just to kind of like, don't doubt yourself, it's gonna be okay, just try really hard.
Take a chill pill, like it's really not that bad. I was so nervous the night before, and then when I got there, like the teachers, they're so nice, like they'll be like, oh, can you help me with this? 8th graders, they're not scary, they're not mean, they'll help you if you need help.
I never really thought about this. I'd probably just tell myself to keep pushing on, don't give up, don't slack. To not worry about it, really, because it's not as hard as you think, and to just do your best and be yourself.
Be yourself and like have fun and use middle school to like learn lots and don't like waste the school day.
Do your homework. So try to finish your homework at school.
Not to worry about getting lost in, because it's pretty easy maneuvering around the school.
It's okay not to know if you don't know where your classes are, or worrying that you might not have a lot of friends, because before you know it, you'll just have a whole group of friends.
There's just a lot of new kids, so you're gonna have to try to like talk to them. I just started talking to kids, and now like everybody knows me.
I would say don't be scared to try new things, because sometimes new things are better for you.
Just try hard, be nice to people, and you're gonna be successful.
Pretty interesting video, hey? So the video shows that there are people just like you who experience feeling nervous or scared as they are making that transition to a new school. So you're not alone at all, but just like those people you saw in the video, I'm sure that when you are maybe in grade 9 or 10 or even in grade 8, somewhere down the road, you too will be thinking, what was I so afraid of? This is such a great school. I love it. This screen lists our office staff at DBSS. So the first one there, you see Mr. Lapierre, our principal, who you've already met. And then Mrs. Yeeman, our associate principal, and she manages our senior high students. And you've already met her. And then there's me, Mr. Teskey, associate principal, and I manage the junior high students. Then we have our 3 administrative assistants, who are our secretaries in the office, and you'll see them quite often. We have Mrs. Green, Mrs. Pask, and Mrs. Hearn. Now that email address that's shown, that's for pretty much our parents. If they ever need to email our school, that's the email that you would use. And then of course, show our website, and that's listed at the bottom there. This is the part in our presentation where we would go over the optional courses available to our grade 7s. And we've already covered that in the other video and shared that Google form for you to select your options. But those of you who have not selected your options on that Google form, please make sure you do that, because you only have a few days to get that done. This slide here lists all the mandatory courses that are automatically assigned to all grade 7 students. So the first ones there are what we refer to as the core subjects. That's the language arts, math, social studies, and science. And then you have that learning strategies class. The learning strategies class is an independent study class where you are given the opportunity to get caught up on some homework or to get some extra help on subjects. And then in the next column over to the right there, you see that you have phys ed automatically assigned. And as it says there, for phys ed, you must have a gym strip. Then at the end of your day, you would have a reading class in one of the semesters, and then it would switch to health. So you might have reading in the first semester, and then next semester you would have health, or vice versa. So here at DVSS, we follow 3 different student timetables. We have a senior high timetable, a timetable specifically just for the grade 9s, and then we have a timetable for the grade 7 and 8s. And you can kind of see here that the grade 9 timetable is actually a combination of senior high periods or blocks. As you can see, they're the same and the same length as well. But in the afternoon, you can see that the grade 9 timetable follows pretty much the same type of timetable as a junior high. And this timetable for the grade 9s is purposeful in that it helps prepare the students for the senior high timetable that they will be transitioning to the following year. Anyway, focusing on the timetable for the grade 7 and 8s, you can see that there's 4 periods listed, 5 classes in the morning. All right, so these 2 periods would be for core subjects, and these 2 periods would be for core subjects. In between, we have the learning strategies class that I talked about, and you can see that at that time, from 10:04 to 10:33, all students, regardless of the grade, are in a learning strategies class. After period 2B, you have lunch, and then we transition into the afternoon. We have period 3A and 3B, and those are your option periods. This period here would be either your reading or health. And again, if you had reading in the first semester, that would be at this time. And then in the second semester, it would switch to health, and that again would be at this time. Finally, at the end of the day, right here in period 4B, traditionally that has been the grade 7's phys ed time in the gym, and I expect that to be the same. So that's what you can expect your schedule to be for grade 7 next year. So this slide here is for the parents as it deals with the registration process and FOIP. We always give out the registration and FOIP form as parents walk into the theater for the grade 6 to 7 transition meeting. So they have them physically given to them. Well, under this COVID crisis, you don't have the forms given to you. So we have to do things differently. I'm going to show you a little bit later in this video where you can access the registration and FOIP form. They're actually accessible on our website, and I'll just pull that up a little bit later and show you where you can find those links. The one thing in that second bullet there, I just want to point out that the FOIP form must be signed by both parents or legal guardians. And then I always took the opportunity to just remind parents that, as stated in that third bullet, everyone must register for busing. If you had busing for Green Tree, you still need to register for busing for DVSS. And there's a couple of ways you can do that. The link is on the Golden Hills website as listed there on this slide, but it's also on our website, and I'm going to show you that as well in a little bit. There are 2 main pieces that we suggest to our students to do that will help make their experience here at DVSS the best that it can be. The first piece is to put in your best effort. Do your best. Do your best at your academics. Do your best on the sports team, the club that you're involved with, whatever it is, give it your best. Then the second piece is get involved. Here at DVSS, we work very hard at providing opportunities for our students. And listed here and on the further slides are various activities that we offer for our students and encourage them to get involved. So these are all ways for you to not only find something outside of the regular schoolwork that is enjoyable for you, but also ways for you to contribute to a positive atmosphere at the school. We'll start with student council. So student council is a student group that meets usually about once a week for a lunch hour, and they'll plan fun activities for the school, such as theme days like pajama day, hat day, jersey day, those types of things. They'll plan fun activities for holiday type days like Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, Halloween, or St. Patrick's Day, those types of days through the year. And then they'll also plan themes for dances, and they'll actually plan the dances. So if that's your thing, we encourage you to get involved with that. Then we have our FOR Club, and FOR stands for Friends of Rachel. Rachel being Rachel Scott, who was the first student who was shot and killed in the Columbine shootings years ago. Tragic event, but this FOR Club was actually created by the family of Rachel Scott, and they took that tragic event and turned it into something very positive, and there are now schools that have FOR Clubs throughout the world. FOR Club is a group of students who are committed to making the school environment a positive environment for all, a fun, safe, accepting environment for all students. Moving on to Drama Club, Mr. Ham runs this one, and he'll gather with students throughout the year, and then they'll plan skits that they can perform at fine arts festivals and things like that. Then we have our Yearbook Club, and you know, if you're one of those kids that enjoys looking at yearbooks, maybe you would be interested in planning that yearbook. So if this is something that interests you, you can get involved with that. And what they do is they take pictures that will go into the yearbook, and they'll plan the pages and all that kind of stuff. Then we also have our Magic Club and Dungeons and Dragons Club, and these two usually run at the same time in the same room after school. And the Magic Club is not doing magic tricks or learning about how to do magic tricks or anything like that. It's the card game, and Dungeons and Dragons is the game. And so it's usually once a week after school where Mr. Metcalf and Mr. Hammond, they'll get together with students and they'll play these games. Then we have our Writing Club, and Mr. Biel will run that one, and it's just an opportunity for students to gather on an extracurricular basis, and often it's after school, probably once a week, and they work with Mr. Biel at improving their writing skills. So listed here are the athletic extracurricular activities that you can get involved with, and it's kind of split up into two different categories, interschool and intramural. So the interschool, so the sports that you play against other schools, basketball, volleyball, badminton, football, track and field, and golf. Now golf is usually just with the senior highs, but we do offer that here at DVSS. Then intramurals, and we've just listed these ones here: dodgeball, basketball, floor hockey, but we've had volleyball intramurals and different things like that as well. So these are some athletic type of extracurricular activities that you can get involved with, offered here at DVSS. So moving on to our special events that we have throughout the year, starting with the very first day of school, our first day assembly. So once you come into the school at the beginning of the morning, you'll go off to your class, and the teacher will start going through an orientation with you giving you your lockers and things like that. At around 9 o'clock, we call all students to the gym and we have an assembly. Then we also have our Remembrance Day ceremony. We have our junior high awards. We have Terry Fox run, our annual seniors Christmas dinner, one of our favorite days throughout the year. We bring in about 400 seniors into the gym and we give them a traditional Christmas dinner. It's awesome. It's all day, tiring day, but it's so much fun. We have a talent show. We'll do our No Regrets Day, where we have a day. In the morning we'll have presentations, and then we'll have afternoon stuff outside, fun activities. In the next column, as listed, we have our special presentations that get scheduled throughout the year, and we'll have grade presentations, full school presentations, or junior high, senior high presentations. Some are in the theater, some are in the gym. And included in that are guest speakers. We'll have drama presentations and dress up and theme days and dances. And another favorite day of our year is our International Education Celebration. International Education Week is usually scheduled for November, but with all the activities and how busy November is, we usually move that into the second semester around March. So these are just fun events that we look forward to that go on every year, and I'm sure you'll enjoy them too. Moving on to our code of conduct, and this is our abridged version of what's stated in the student handbook. More detail regarding policies and expectations is given in our student handbook. And if you remember me talking earlier about putting in your best effort, here's where we're talking about that if you put in your best effort towards these things, it really would help make your experience here at DVSS the best that it can be. So as stated, it says that the students are expected to arrive on time and be prepared to work. So arrive on time at the beginning of the day or in the morning, and arrive on time for each class throughout the day, and bring the things you need that are required for each class. So for example, if it's math class, you should be bringing your textbook, your pencil, your eraser, calculator. And talking about a calculator, we do not allow students to use a personal device like a cell phone as a calculator on a test, because you need to be familiar with the calculator when you're writing a test, and you don't want to work on a cell phone calculator and then be not allowed to have that in a test and not be familiar with the calculator that you're using. So make sure you do have a calculator. Moving on to number 2, respect the teacher and fellow classmates. Number 3, seek assistance when help is needed. Going on, complete all assignments on time. Work in class when time is provided. So use your class time wisely. Now it says carry a backpack, and that is very good, as we don't want students going back and forth to their lockers between classes. What we encourage students to do, even if you had in your backpack the stuff that you would need for that 1A, 1B class, and then maybe at LS switch and get the stuff that you would need for your 2A, 2B class. We don't really want you going to your locker between classes. That time is scheduled to go to the bathroom if you need it and get to class on time. Number 7, carry and use an agenda. Now this can be a personal device such as a cell phone. We used to give out agendas, but now a lot of students are using cell phones or personal devices for that. Now that does not mean you have to have a personal device at school, as that is not the case. If you don't have a personal device, then we do encourage you to use an agenda of some sort. Moving on to number 8, respect the locker that you have been assigned to, And do not share your lockers or lock combinations with other students. Keep that confidential. We don't want other students having access to your locker, and we don't want you storing your stuff in somebody else's locker, or vice versa, them storing their stuff in yours. And as stated, at the bottom there it says, for more information, please refer to our student handbook on our school website. And incidentally, our supply list, I talked about calculators, and maybe you're starting to think, oh, okay, what other supplies will we need for grade 7? So that is listed in the handbook on page 33. Now, where do you find our student handbook? Right there on the school website. And I'm going to just click on this, and I'm going to take you to our website. That's pretty. As shown up here, we are on drumvss.ca, which takes us to our school website. There is a ton of information on this website about the different events and the different things that happen here at school. There's articles that you can look up in this area, but showing in the links section, starting with the student handbook. Okay, so right here, you can see the student handbook, and in fact, there's actually another place you can click on the student handbook, which is right here. Either place will take you to the same document, our student handbook, and we have a table of contents, and showing here at the bottom, right here, junior high school supplies. You click on that, and it takes you directly to the supply list. Now, as stated, this is a general list of supplies, okay? So we don't tell you how many pencils or pens that you need, or binders and things like that. People like to organize themselves in different ways. But yes, you will need pencils, you will need pens, and you will need binders. We have a checkbox here, so if you want to print this sheet off and take it to Walmart or wherever you buy your supplies, and then you can just check things off as you go down the list. So, binder dividers, it's on there. Do you absolutely have to have them? No, but dividers do help you keep organized and keep subjects separated. Headphones, earbuds, a lot of students have these things already. You don't have to go out and buy them, but these are very handy to have at school. And you might want to just have a set of earbuds in your lockers so that they're here and they stay here at school. You don't have to do that, but it's an idea. Going down the list, you can decide how you want to organize yourself, but these are just supplies that are encouraged. All right. Now, as stated here, you will need a scientific calculator for grades 7, 8, and 9, especially grade 9. And again, like I said, you're not allowed to use a cell phone on your exams, especially in grade 9 when you're doing the provincial achievement test. And so for that reason, we encourage you to have a scientific calculator so that you are familiar with the calculator that you have and that you're using for any kind of a test, as you're not allowed a device. So, if you get into art or home ec, these are things that you may need. Now, I would suggest that you do not go out and buy these things prior to school in this section, only because your teacher will say, here's what you will need. Earlier, I talked about the registration and FOIP form. So, as well as the transportation registration. So right here, here's your registration forms, and when you click on that, it takes you to the registration form. You can print it off and fill it out. Incidentally, you can also do this on the Golden Hills School Division website. But if you print this off here, these are the forms, and then here is your FOIP form. And again, needs to be signed by both parents or legal guardians. And I'll just click back, and right here is your link for transportation registration, which takes you to the Golden Hills website, and this is where you would click here, and you go through that process. Okay, so I'm just going to close that one and go back to the website. So that's pretty much all you need as far as links go. Again, this website here is a wealth of information, and I would just highly encourage you to just go through. If you want to familiarize yourself some more with the school, this is a good thing to do, especially that student handbook. Now, the student handbook also will, the grade 7 teacher on that first day of orientation will go through the handbook with you as well. Okay, so we've come to the last 2 slides of this presentation, and normally we provide an opportunity for students and parents to ask any questions that they may have. Then, after that, we end the meeting with a draw for door prizes. Unfortunately, you don't have the opportunity to do either of these things under these circumstances. However, as mentioned in the other videos, we do hope to be able to get you into the school for a physical tour in August sometime, and that it's prior to the first day of school. When that happens, you will have the opportunity to ask us any question that you have at the time. If there's any questions that you need answered or would like answered prior to that, please feel free to give us a call or email me at brad.teskey@ghsd75.ca. Call the school, talk to the ladies in the office, whatever it is. We'd love to help you out if needed. Final slide of the presentation, and this is the time when we would do a draw for some door prizes. We don't want you feeling like you're getting ripped off because you don't have an opportunity to win a prize under these circumstances, and truth be told, we would feel like we would be getting ripped off too because we enjoy that time too. We enjoy giving out some prizes. So we're going to make that happen. How we're going to make that happen? Well, let me just go back and explain how we used to do things under regular circumstances. So when students would walk into the theater, and we would be there to greet them, and we would provide them with the registration forms and the FOIP forms, and then we would also give each student a slip of paper to write their name on. And of course, that would go into the draw for some prizes. So what that actually meant is that you had to be there to win a prize. Well, in the same way, what we're going to do when we have that physical tour before the school year starts, those of you that come, we'll give you a slip of paper to write your name on, and we'll do the draw then for some prizes. So we're looking forward to that. So anyway, thank you very much for joining me, taking the time to watch this video. Have a great summer. We look forward to seeing you here at DVSS for grade 7. Take care.